Okay, Lenormand study buddies, we have now completed the first row, memorizing these cards 1 through 8 of the Grand Tableau house spread. We are now going to memorize 9 through 16. I'm going to make it fast and painless for you, so we're going to go through these cards. I'm using the French Cartomancy deck again. So here we go. So we have card 9. And remember how bodacious that was in the woman card with her bustage. But I can also see if you have a huge bouquet of flowers, it's so top heavy at the top. You know when you see bouquets and there's like tons of stuff and little stem or little vase. So picture this, a big flower at the end of a stem, and that's your bouquet. So 9 is bouquet. 10 is sight. There's a couple ways you can remember this. So if you think of your 10, picture a cartoon in your head of this is a bubble or a balloon, and this is your pin. If this is your 0 and this is your 1, so you have a 10. Now this is your sharp thing, and it picks and pokes and it can burst the bubble. Scythe, pointy, picky, that's one way you can remember it. Way you can remember it when I first memorized this is when you think of the 10 of swords in tarot, the guy with all the swords or scythes in his back. There's your scythe. 10 and 10. So you've got your 10 of the swords or 10 scythes. Just something sharp is what you want to think of when you think of 10. Okay, so you've got bouquet, and you've got scythe. 11, broom and whip. Now this one is, there's a couple ways you can remember this. They are two long things, broom and whip. You've got two things, broom, whip. Another thing you can do is, this is a card about patterns and repetition. You whip over and over, you sweep over and over, and you do the one over and over. So it's a repetition. Boom, boom. That's one of the few cards that we'll be repeating. Boom, boom. And it's the long things repeating. So that's easy to remember. Broom and whip. So 9 is bouquet. 10 is your scythe with your pin picking in there. 11 is broom and whip. 12, birds. Where do birds come from? Eggs. How do you buy eggs? By the dozen. So 12 is a dozen eggs that contains all birds. So 12 is your birds card. 13, we already learned. That was our child card. It's when you turn 13, teenager. So we've got that one already. 14. Now, here's where you're going to depend on what you already learned. You already learned that 4 is the house card. Now, I always think of fox. Well, this is our fox card. Being in a foxhole. So if you've got the 14, the 1 is going to hide in here, in the foxhole. This is our house. So if this is our 4 or our foundation, our house, foxhole. So the 1 and the 4. That's how I remembered it. You may think of something different. I depended on the house card and that 1 to hide in there or to hide under here. That's how I remembered it. See if it works for you. 14, fox. It also begins 14, fox. Just like we did with the snake, S and S. Next, we've got 15, which is the bear. Now, I also depended on the previous card for this. Remember, we had the tree. Bears are around trees. So 5 is tree. 1 is our bear. I'm picturing the bear hiding behind the tree or next to the tree. This is representative of the bear behind the tree. So when I see the tree next with that 1, I'm thinking something next to it. It's our bear. That's the way I remembered it. Again, you may think of something different that helps you. Use whatever works for you. Last one, 16, stars. Now what I used for this, again, remember the 6 with the clouds. This is another thing hiding behind. Now you've got the 6 with the clouds. What hides behind them? These little things, all the little stars. So if you see 1 and 6, what's hiding behind the clouds are stars. That's how I used, again, my own memory trigger. So see if that works for you. They were both in the sky, the clouds and the stars. That helped me out. So see if that works for you. Again, S is 16 and S is stars. That may help you. I didn't really use that so much as using the clouds with something that's behind it. Okay, 16. That's it, worked for me. So let's just review real quickly. So if we take it backwards, we've got 9 is bouquet, top heavy. 10 is our pin and balloon, scythe. 1, 1, repetition or 2 long things. 12 is a dozen eggs. 13 is our child. 14 is the fox hiding in the fox hole or fox house. 15 is the bear hiding behind the tree, the 5. And the 16 is the clouds. Behind it, what do we have? That one? Stars. There you go. So let's try those out now with our flashcards. Are you ready for a quiz? Let's go. I'm going to shuffle them up. This is just cards from this session. Here we go. Number 9. Bouquet. Number 16. Remember that last number? Stars. Number 15, again, use that last number. Bear. 14. Picture that 1 jumping in the 4. 10. Either the 10 of swords with all the pins in the back or the pin pricking the bubble. Number 11. Repetition, 2 long things. 12. Dirty dozen. There you go. 13. Teenager. Child. Let's do it backwards. See if you can remember the words. I'm going to shuffle up. Here we go. Bear. What's your number? Child. Broom, whip. Stars. Bouquet. Fox. Birds. And scythe. So your job now is to go in your notebook and list the numbers that we just learned, mix them up, see if you can match them up with their titles, then write the titles, see if you can match them up with their numbers. Once you do that, I want you to mix the first series of cards that you did, so the first row, with the second, mix them up, do the same thing. Put it in your notebook, see if you now have those first 2 rows of the grand tableau memorized. Once you've got that down, I will see you for the next video.